Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Best Self Weekly podcast, where we focus on being the best version of yourself every single day, every single week. I'm excited for this one. Before I drop, an episode with a guest, I want to come up on here and do a little solo video about self-improvement. And specifically, it's about early on in the stages of self-improvement, early on in your journey when you're trying to be that best version of yourself. And an interesting aspect and an interesting question to ask yourself to start off your self-improvement journey. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But, if you don't know me, my name is Hunter. I'm 24 years old. And, I help people be the best versions of themselves. And I share mindset secrets with them, so that they can build confidence and ultimately become the best version of themselves and fulfill that potential that we all have inside of us. And today's video, I'm going to talk about some things that are related to the book called, The Greatest Mindset by Lewis House. And I love this book, man. I love this book. It's impacted my life a lot. And what I love about self-improvement books is that they're all very similar, but they're all kind of said in a different way. And that different way that it's said can impact different people. So that's one of the reasons why a few books stick with me and a few books, don't, that a lot of other people like. But I wanted to get right into it today, and today's about a good normal life and asking yourself, is that the life that you want? And what I mean by a good normal life is just a regular average normal life, specifically maybe you're in decent shape, you got a decent sized house, you have a decent relationship with your family, with your wife, with your spouse, you have a decent amount of money, you eat kind of healthy, kind of not, like you're kind of just, you know, in the middle of either like being really good or really bad. And that's what I mean by a good normal life. Now, millions of people, a lot of people would be very happy with a normal, regular life. And because life is hard. I mean, there's so many bad things that happen to a lot of people, tough situations, a lot of demons and things to be fought, a lot of self-doubt out there. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with a good normal life. A lot of people would choose to have it, um, you know, and but I think what the question is, is that the life you want? Is that the story you want to tell? That you were just a normal person and you just went through the motions, but still had a normal, good life. Um, but I feel like, that normal, good life can have us feeling deep down that, we're meant for more, that there's untapped potential. It can have us feeling unfulfilled. Um, it can have us feeling, like there's something missing and, there's something that you're meant for more. You're meant for more. Um, and I feel like those feelings can sometimes be deep down, you know, in our hearts. Maybe sometimes some people think it all the time, but that is something that relates to that good normal life, even though a lot of people would prefer to have that. Um, but I just feel like everyone has those goals, has those dreams that they've dreamt when they were a kid or that they've dreamt at a certain moment of their lives. And the question is do those dreams, do those goals, are they included in this normal good life? Or do you need to break through something and rise to that next level and level up in order to hit those goals, in order to hit those dreams that you've had, or have, you given up on those dreams at one point. And a result of that is just living in that normal good life. So that is something I want to share with you guys. And it's very interesting to think, what's included in that normal life. Maybe, a part of you feels just like, you haven't really reached your potential yet. And it's a fun process to figure out what you need to do to get to that point. But that is kind of the first thing I want to talk about today, like the good normal life, is that the life you want? And to ask yourself that, and just going off of that, I believe that another thing that, is very important early on in the self-improvement stage is creating the life that you want. And I think it's very simple um, to create the life that you want. And I think you need to do this by asking yourself impactful questions, asking yourself what do you truly want and make sure you do it when it's, you're around a good environment, by yourself, when it's quiet, when you can kind of lock in, when you're in a good state of mind. I figure, maybe after you work out or after you get a little bit momentum going and then you do it, right? You don't want to just, I don't know, be in a weird state of mind and do it. You want to be in a state of mind where you're humble and um, you feel good mentally. So creating the life you want by asking yourself very impactful questions such as, who do you want to be? Where are you right now? Where do you want to go? Um, and do you even know those questions? Do I even know those questions or those answers to those questions? How can I create a game plan that's going to allow me to get to that point? What do I need to do to get to that point? What do I need to quit? What are the distractions? So I think becoming very aware is that, first step in order of creating that life you want to have. Because if that normal, decent life is not for you because you feel like you still have untapped potential, then that means you simply just need to create the life that you want. And it's so cool as humans, and our minds are so powerful that we can create whatever we want to whenever. We can always reinvent ourselves. We can always change. Um, so that was another thing I wanted to share with everyone today. And to be honest, I got all of that, off of just reading a couple pages of a self-improvement book near the very beginning. And it's very important to read self-improvement because yes, the words are in there for a reason, but those words um, will make you think in different ways. Is something that usually tends to happen to me, and that's when I have a lot of my ideas. So just to recap, everybody, nothing wrong with a good, normal, decent, average life. Life is hard. You gotta ask yourself, is this the life that I want? Does this include, my big goals and dreams that I had when I was a little kid, that I had a few years ago, that I had when I felt, the best I've ever felt in my life? And another thing I wanted to go off of before finishing that recap is I want everybody to think about a time in their life where they felt like they were meant to do great things. Maybe there was somebody, and this is really good. I was listening to a YouTube video that talked about this today from Ed Milet, and it was like, think of someone that you just feel good, that just makes you feel good when you talk to them. Maybe it's a grandpa, maybe it's an older sibling, or just a random example, or just anyone. And like when you talk to them, you feel good. You feel like you can do all these amazing, great things. You feel like that person believes in you and you feel comfortable, you feel energized, you feel great. And that's one way that I know that I am meant to do a lot of great things. And while mentoring and coaching other people, I often run them through that exercise as well. Think of the moment where you've had a great conversation with someone and you just felt hyped up after, like you have a hype man, like we all need a hype man or a hype girl. Maybe it was a coach or just like a good friend or just really anyone. But the point is that's another way to know that, you know, you're meant for more than just a normal life. If you felt those feelings before. And if you really haven't felt those feelings before, maybe all you need to do is, have one good uplifting conversation with someone and meet the right person. That's why I 100% recommend um, being involved in a like-minded community and having coaches and mentors. I feel like that is so important. We live in a lonely world. There's a epidemic of loneliness going around, has been for a while. So, yeah. And just to finish the recap, everybody, create the life that you want by asking yourself those impactful questions. And the third thing, like I just got done saying, is think of that one person in your life that is like your hype man. And when you've talked to them, you felt like you can do so much. And never forget those feelings that you felt. And that's how you know that you are meant to fulfill, more of your potential to, ultimately chase greatness. But the chase to greatness, it never stops. It's always an ongoing thing. Becoming the best version of yourself is an everyday thing. Um, so yeah, it's not just a one-time thing. It's just going and going. So everybody, yeah, I appreciate you tapping in today, giving it a little listen. I hope everybody can be the best versions of themselves today. Um, Thank you for giving this a listen. Um, and yeah, okay, I'll catch you guys later. There's a new episode with a special guest dropping later today. So, all right, have a blessed day, everybody.